Hello my scrappy friends, and a big welcome to my YouTube channel once again today. Today is the YouTube hub for the brand new Story Foundations Chapter 6 Destinations release. I am scrapbooking another photo from hubby's and my recent trip to Bali. That's us on the plane ready to leave. We left our kids at home with my mother-in-law, and it was amazing to go away just the two of us. So I'm working on another 9 by 12 page to go on the back of the layout I shared for the YouTube hop. Uh, Obviously this is a 12 by 12 background at the moment, but it will be 9 by 12 in a minute. I had a couple of mishaps with my printing, so yes, they are 6 by 4 cards that I am using as layers. I've just used the bits that I know I can use, and I've done a scallop border punch on both sides. I do end up removing one of them because I'm not happy with it, but I am going to paper piece this together pretty much, and if you don't watch the video you'd have no idea. I am inking everything in black ink, and I'm just showing you here. You can see on these two layers I've got my pen paper around the edge and then white in the middle. What I've actually done is, to save ink and paper, I have printed the other layers on the inside. So like that blue layer that I just inked a minute ago was inside the craft layer, and I think the journaling card, the one in the middle, like underneath that black layer right now, with the writing on the bottom left hand corner, was in the middle of the camera print, and no one will ever know. I'm just going to stick my layers on over the top, but a neat little trick. The reason I'm trying to save paper is because I'm running low on paper, and the same as ink, I keep forgetting to buy more. So I'm trying to make what I've got last until I remember to buy some more. That wasn't straight. I've mentioned this before. Yoo-hoo undo, best stuff ever. Especially if you stick without thinking. Definitely recommend it. If you find it anywhere, buy it all. I'm just adding my layers here. This is all pretty straightforward. Like I said, this was a photo of hubby and I in the plane. I think we'd got on not long before I took it. It was pretty funny though, because we left in tracksuit pants and hoodies, and when we got to Bali, it was pretty warm. And then when we came back the other way, we made sure that we had hoodies right at the top of our bags, because we were leaving during winter. Well, actually, it wasn't technically winter yet, but it was chilly at night, so we definitely went prepared for our weather and packed for their weather. So you can see I'm just layering up my different patterns in the background here. That 3 by 12 strip is actually from the last layout that I did, the one that's on front of this. That's my chapter divider, and that's the leftover. So I was like, you know what, that will make a nice nice place for to build a central design from. So that's exactly what I'm doing. As you can see, this is where I decided I wanted the straight edge on this side, so I'm just using my scissors to trim that off. Having the grid in the background makes it really easy. I'm just going to go back in and re-ink the correct sides. Obviously I don't want that little bit of a plane peeking out, but it's all good, it will be covered up. Again, the grid in the background makes it super easy to line everything up. I'm going to just do the same at the top here. Put that in place. And my scallop on this side. Right. So I'm making sure that I'm not adding adhesive right to the edges, because I know that I want to tuck things into different layers. But I am working in a central design here. Again, I did design the majority of this one in Photoshop, and then printed out the bits and pieces that I needed, and I've kind of added bits and pieces as I've gone as well, like that light blue with the scallop edge. That was kind of an afterthought. I wanted something behind there, so that's what I had printed, so I used it. I originally had this so that my card was centered, but I decided to just pop it off center just a little smidge, and I like the way that looks. It's still mostly a central design. And when I add all the bits and pieces, because with this one I just kept wanting to add more stuff, so I did. I just added more of what I had. I have gone in and printed a bunch of those titles with the little postage stamp shaped letters, and I'm using the one that says escape, because that's exactly what it was for us. Hubby and I, like I mentioned, we were escaping our, not necessarily our children, but we were taking a break for a few days, just the two of us, away from being the adults around here, and away from our jobs and all of those things that just continue to happen no matter what. So I have also got here the aeroplane. I love this aeroplane, it's so cute. If you didn't know this already, that aeroplane fits perfectly on the aeroplane that is on that 6x4 card that I printed. That is one of the layers. It is the same size. So there you go. I have popped this up a little bit. There is a fair bit of dimension with those layers, and that is going straight across the bottom of my photo. I've got the little passport. I thought this was so cute, and just a fun little way to add a little bit more of the black. I'm just going to tuck that guy in there. And this is pretty much as I had designed in Photoshop. I really wanted to get this on. It says ready for takeoff. So that does fit up there, and it's part of why I wanted to include that white, the top of the white journaling card up there, because if I had it on the other layers, it looked funny and kind of covered up my head. Love this camera. I know I've got cameras in that paper, but I really wanted to include it here as well, and I really like how it looks there, so that is what I'm going to do. There are lots of these pieces that I tried desperately to get in, and I'm digging through what I've got printed, pulling out bits and pieces. I don't know if many of these end up getting added in or not. This does end up finding a home, but while I'm thinking about that, I'm going to ink up the edges of what I've got here and stick these pieces down. So I like the way the camera's just hanging out there. What else? Oh, that's right. I decided to add in some of this red. I really liked the pop of the red, so I'm going to add that in, but I'm going to use my trusty old punches. I'm going to punch a couple of label shapes. I do end up using, I think, the two big ones. So starting by inking up the edges here. And straight away I knew I wanted to add something up to the top here. But of course I use foam tape, so everything is very well stuck. Bring my Yoo-Hoo undo back in. Next time hubby goes to Bunnings, I'm going to have to send him on a mission for more of that for me. So you can see that it does make my layers obviously wet, but it dries and you can't even tell. Alright, so I want to take the stick off this, so I'm just using my powder tool. And I want to make it a tiny bit shorter. So I did use my paper trimmer for that. Right. And stick this back down. And then I can bring my red label in. And I like the little pop of colour that brings just to that area there. Try it in a couple of different places. And I think I end up with it between the craft. Yeah, between the craft and the camera print. I really like that. And then I'm going to bring another one down to the bottom left hand side. So I'm just inking up the edges of that. I do have to give this one a bit of surgery because I didn't want to muck around and remove more adhesive and all that fun stuff. So I'm going to add this in 2 pieces, one here. I'm going to chop this down a tiny bit more and add that to the other side. I did then try to add some more of the light blue, but I felt like it just wasn't right. So I think I chopped that out. I'm going to stick down what I've got here while I think about that. I actually started tidying up what I had on my desk, thinking, okay, what do I need to go and print something else to make this work? And as I started tidying up, I found a couple of other bits and pieces. So on an adventure, this is where I get this one in. I'm like, don't like there, don't like it there. I trim it down a tiny, my cutting wasn't very straight to start with on this one, so I trim it down, and then I'm like, oh, I actually really like it there, so that's exactly where it's going to go. Ink it up and stick that onto my photo as well, not losing any story value there whatsoever. On an adventure. Right, so here is, so you can see I've cut out the blue labels, which you can see to the left hand side there and the right hand side. I didn't use them, but then I was like, maybe I can use these craft ones, and I realized that my little tiny label punch, the little punch on this one, punches out the little tiny sayings here absolutely perfectly. It's exactly the right size. I was so impressed. So I end up with 2 of those. You can see one is vertically on the bottom right. The other one I'm going to add vertically to the top, no, to the bottom left. And then I'm going to add the other one vertically to the top right. So that's just going to go in there. I'm pretty happy with how this is looking. I just want to make sure I ink everything up just to keep it all cohesive. So I've used the 6x8 papers on this layout as well, so that I'm pretty sure is what I use the camera print, and the craft one in the background. It's actually got little like ticket stubs on it, which I thought was super fun. Coming in with some more of these enamel dots in the white. I'm going to add, I think I end up with 3 lots of 3, but it might only be 2. We'll see. Yep, it's just the 2. Oh, and here is, I found, this is where I found some more. I actually used this particular paper on my other layout for a layer, and I have little offcuts. So again, I used my little label punch, punched out a couple more labels. And you can see one up at the top right with a little aeroplane, and one down here. I did run out of room on my camera, so that's why you don't see that footage. As always, thank you so much for choosing to stop by. This is part of YouTube Hop, so make sure you hop along. Thank you so much for choosing to spend your scrappy time with me, and I will see you in my next process video.